San Francisco police officer has been charged with involuntary manslaughter for shooting an unarmed man right outside his home. The victim later died from the injuries he suffered in that shooting. KTVU's Andre Sr. spoke to the San Francisco district attorney about those new charges. He's here now with the new information in the case. Andre.
Well, Mike, the San Francisco district attorney is moving ahead with charges now after 5 separate judges ruled that the officers were unlawfully on Sean Moore's property and that they were trespassing. In what is said to be only the second time in the city's history, San Francisco District Attorney Jason Boudin announced homicide charges against a police officer stemming from the death of Sean Moore.
We filed an arrest warrant that was signed by a San Francisco Superior Court judge alleging 2 separate counts, including voluntary manslaughter and assault with a firearm.
Those charges against Officer Kenneth Cha stem from a January 2017 incident. Body cameras rolling when he and Officer Colin Patino responded to Sean Moore's Ocean View home regarding a noise complaint. Prosecutors say the 42-year-old denied harassing his neighbor, explaining that he had not been violating a restraining order and asked the officers to leave.
The officers were unlawfully on Mr. Moore's property, that they were trespassing, that they were not acting in lawful performance of their duties.
Officer Cha, who said he was kicked in the face by Moore, shot him twice. Moore died 3 years later in January of 2020 of injuries related to the shooting. Adante Porter, who represented the Moore family in a civil lawsuit against the city and the 2 officers, was on the call when Moore's mother was informed that Officer Cha would be charged.
She started crying, and, it was just a lot of feelings that she was trying to deal with in that moment.
His family says Moore suffered from mental illness, schizophrenia, and that officers should have de-escalated the situation instead of pulling a gun. A $3.5 million settlement was eventually reached, but Pointer says it's the charges against the officer that matter to Moore's family.
While that's what our justice system provides from the civil aspect, it was really about holding him, and by him I mean the officer, personally responsible, having him criminally prosecuted.
The San Francisco Police Officers Association, unavailable to comment on camera, but released this statement that reads, in part, "We support Officer Cha's constitutionally protected right to present his defense against these charges that stem from his extremely volatile incident that an autopsy concluded took Mr. Moore's life while he was serving time in prison on another matter." Officer Patino later said Moore punched him in the face and broke his nose. District Attorney Jason Boudin says he expected Officer Cha, who we're told remains on the force, to surrender on these charges soon. He said he hopes that the arraignment will take place in the next week or so. Boudin has been charged, has charged Cha with voluntary manslaughter and assault with a semi-automatic firearm, along with enhancements for the personal use of a firearm and infliction of great bodily harm. Mike, back to you.
Yeah, no doubt we will be following those legal proceedings. All right, Andre, thank you.